Alhamdulillah, kita kembali lagi dalam Pagi dan seperti kami janjikan kepada anda, sekarang kita telah pun tiba ke segmen wawancara kita yang kedua untuk edisi Rampai Pagi hari ini. Wawancara Brunei MYCE Brunei Mid-Year Conference and Exhibition tahun 2022. Dan hari ini kita akan membincangkan sama-sama bercerita mengenai dengan satu tajuk persidangan isu-isu global Borneo. ISP, dan kita cukup berbesar hati sebenarnya Hani, ya. Kita mempunyai bukan satu, bukan dua, tetapi tiga yang hadir menyerikan Rampai Pagi untuk hari ini.
Ya, bersama dengan tetamu-tetamu kita untuk membincangkan mengenai dengan persidangan isu-isu global Borneo ISB adalah Amelia Hasnal, Sarah Gill, Marzuq Kamali yang merupakan pelajar-pelajar ISB dan juga merupakan setiausaha persidangan isu-isu global Borneo ISB yang juga lebih dikenali sebagai Bgic. Jadi mungkin boleh diucapkan Assalamualaikum, selamat datang and welcome to Rampai Pagi.
Welcome to Rampai Pagi.
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. It's nice having you here. It's a pleasure having all of you guys here. So today we're going to talk about your involvement, with regards to Bgic and also MYCE. Right? Ada penonton? Baiklah, untuk tidak membuang masa lagi, kita akan teruskan saja wawancara hari ini. Apa kata mungkin soalan pertama yang boleh tanya ajukan Hania, mungkin tadi boleh ajukan kepada salah seorang mengenai dengan pengenalan barangkali Hani. Tadi tanyakan pengenalan mengenai Bgic. Apakah sebenarnya Bgic? Right, the first questions, perhaps I can just direct it to Marzuq. Yeah, okay. Marzuq, as Hani has mentioned, Bgic. Perhaps you could probably just explain to viewers out there what does Bgic mean and what are what perhaps you can also talk a little bit about the roles of Bgic.
Oh yeah, of course. Bgic, or the Borneo Global Issues Conference, is a conference held or hosted by ISB in which delegates or students from other schools across Brunei come together and represent a country and help create resolutions about the topic question for this year. And as this year is SDG 3? Yeah, SDG 3, and we're looking at good health and well-being.
So from what I understand, it's a bit like model UN, right?
Yes.
Model United Nations, where students gather together and then they represent different countries and talk about the issues of that countries. Now, back to MYCE 2022. Maybe perhaps I could ask Sarah next about the involvement of Bgic in MYCE 2022.
Well, obviously, the MYCE this year is being held at the ICC, and our Bgic will also be held at the ICC, parallel to the MYCE this year. Our Bgic will commence from the 24th of June to the 27th of June, so there will be some crossovers.
Right. All right. Okay. So, what actually is the purpose or objective of Bgic, the conference, and why it's being held? So perhaps we could ask Amelia about it.
So within Bgic, they're split into 4 committees, and that being economic, social, human rights, environmental, and political. And within those committees, you get given a topic question whereby groups have to write resolutions.
Right.
And within those resolutions, they basically talk about solutions towards that problem and how to fix it. And they debate against it to find the best resolution for that question.
Right. Alhamdulillah, rasanya memang menarik sekali Hania. Apabila dengar tadi ada penonton perkongsian diceritakan, ada diberi topik, jadi akan sama-sama membincangkan topik tersebut dan comes up ini orang dengan solutions. Macam mana untuk tadi mengadres soalan isu-isu yang dibangkitkan.
Ya, tepat sekali. Dan peserta-peserta conference ini adalah merupakan pelajar-pelajar dari sekolah di seluruh negara Brunei Darussalam. Mereka yang akan mewakili sekolah mereka untuk membincangkan tentang isu-isu global ini di Bgic.
Alhamdulillah. Perhaps the next question, if I could just add another question for Amelia. You talk about the different activities here briefly. There'll be topics given, and then you find out, you comes up with the solutions and all that within the teams. Perhaps you can just explain a bit more with audience of Rampai Pagi this morning. What are the topics to be discussed, and who will be involved in the presentations?
So within this year, we're doing the SDG 3, which is good health and well-being. So the topics that kind of summarizes are things within healthcare like vaccinations, infectious diseases, the pandemic, and things like that, anything within the medical industry basically. And we thought it would be a good idea to choose this SDG for this year since we're recovering from the pandemic. It's quite a smart idea for the delegates to kind of recognize the solutions and ways to improve them from the past few years.
I would agree on that. Ya, memang bertepatan sekali lah Hania. Alhamdulillah ada penonton memang mengambil sempena negara kita ni masa ni, bukan negara kita ni, negara Brunei Darussalam, tapi juga negara seluruh dunia sedang rancak mengadakan program-program untuk sama-sama orang kita ni, memanggil orang kita ni, menyuruh orang kita ni untuk mengambil vaksin, dan inilah sebenarnya yang akan didiskusikan di dalam event sini nanti ya Hania.
Ya, tepat sekali. Bertepatan dengan apa yang terjadi, isu-isu global dan memandangkan kita ni masih lagi berdepan dengan COVID-19 ini, itulah isu yang akan dibicarakan oleh pelajar-pelajar yang mengambil tempat di BGIC ini. Now, talking about the audience, the participants, perhaps I could go back to Marzuk then. How do these participants participate? Like, how do they register?
Well, ISB would typically reach out to schools across Brunei. This year we have 22 schools participating, and those schools would then offer the opportunity for their students to participate in BGIC, typically as a delegate. And so that's how they participate this year.
Jadi melalui sekolah.
So they'll get information from schools as well, I imagine.
Yes. Right. Typically, like the dates, the SDG for the year, and where it will be hosted.
Okay. Is there any websites they can go to, social media, anything like that?
Yes, I believe there should be a website. I don't know the exact URL.
It's ISB BGIC. If you just search that up, the website should come up.
Yes, okay, it's also on Instagram.
Yes. It's also Instagram. Perhaps you can share again with the audience today your the
Instagram handle.
Instagram handle.
If you just search up ISB Brunei, you should find links to ISB BGIC there.
Jadi anda boleh mendapatkan informasi mengenai dengan BGIC ataupun persidangan isu-isu global Borneo ISB ini dengan men-search sahaja, cari di Instagram ISB Brunei ataupun dari laman web yang telah pun Sarah kongsikan sebentar tadi.
I also understand on top of the presentations and discussions there will also be exhibition. Yes, perhaps maybe any of you just
could share about the exhibition.
So there are several exhibitions going on at the same time, especially during Climate Change Week. There will be companies like UBD, UTB, IBTE, BLNG, BSP, and all that, and they will host exhibitions there. And there will be certain activities like an IQ tower, quizzes, and spin the wheels. So you can go and check that out.
Oh, so that's open to public. Anyone can join.
Yes.
Oh, so we could join, Dini.
Yeah, we definitely gonna join.
All of the games.
So you can expect us there.
You can expect us there. So it will be held during Energy Week 15th to 18th June. Is that correct?
It's during Climate Change Week.
Oh, right. Yes, Climate Change Week 22nd to 26th June.
Correct.
Okay. So ianya akan diadakan semasa Minggu Perubahan Iklim yang akan berlangsung pada 22 hingga ke 26 Jun. Pada masa ini masih lagi diadakan Minggu Tenaga, Energy Week. Minggu Perubahan Iklim akan diadakan nanti 22 hari bulan.
22 hari bulan. Okay, now perhaps you can talk about what are the things that we have to be cautious about. For example, with regards to COVID-19. Perhaps I believe there are certain precautions, measures that need to be taken into considerations, and I believe the committee will definitely have to look at this as well before allowing publics to come and join the event. Perhaps any one of you could just share on that.
Obviously we're recovering from the pandemic phase into the endemic phase, but we still have to comply with the SOPs given by the MOH. And so our school have worked closely with the MOH and the Ministry of Education to deliver those SOPs. So like students will have to do regular ART testing before coming to the ICC or before doing training sessions. They still have to wear face masks, always wash their hands, and just keep hygiene so that you can keep everyone safe and healthy.
All right. Perhaps the last question I could ask Amelia, what are your advice or your message, for our audience out there who would like to know more about BGIC, especially to do with the exhibition and everything?
My biggest advice to give to the audience is definitely just for delegates coming into ISB and it's their first time, it's very nerve-wracking just being in a big school and there's like 300 students and everything like that. But I suggest delegates to really have trust in their chairs and the people above them, because we will help you with whatever you're doing, and you will create friendships and social groups within your committee. And though the debate itself is formal, everything before that, it's comfortable. So I just wish that they can feel that before they come in.
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. Some advice for the delegates who will be representing their school and their designated countries, right, during the BGIC conference.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, rasanya dari penonton, itulah perkongsian kita ni hari ni ya, mengenai dengan persidangan isu-isu global Borneo yang dianjurkan oleh ISB. Kita telah pun menemu ramah wawancara ketiga-tiga orang yang kita jemput ke studio hari ini dari penonton. Kita ada Tuan Marzuq Kamali, we also have Sarah Gale, dan jelas sekali Amelia Hasnal telah pun sama-sama menyerikan Rampai Pagi untuk edisi kali ini.
Alright, kita akan ucapkan terima kasih. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
Thank you
us.
so much for inviting us.
Yes, no problem
Yeah,
at all.
we'll definitely visit the exhibition.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Guys.
Well, please do, especially because on the 24th to 27th, BGIC will also be open to the public as well. So any parents, grandparents, or anyone who's just interested can also come in and watch the debates happen.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you guys here with us today.
Thank you so much.
And,
Inshallah, we'll meet
thank you
again.
so much. Inshallah. Again.